Oh, nope. Let's see if we can do this without tipping my camera over. How's it going, gamers? Welcome to my hotel room here in Pasadena, California. We just got in a couple hours ago, early this morning, got breakfast, and are checked in early to the hotel, thankfully. And we're here for the SoCal Gaming Expo. I guess we're doing a vlog for it, and I brought along the camera to kind of encapsulate the weekend that is going to be the SoCal Gaming Expo week, or weekend specifically. This year, it's a little bit of a different schedule. It is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but specifically in comparison to last year, Friday, they're opening the expo floor. So last year, they just did Friday for the Tetris tournament. This year, the expo floor is going to be fully open as soon as the doors open at 1 p.m., so you get an extra day in pretty much of just being able to shop the store floor, see all the vendors, see all the goods, and then you have all the Saturday and then all of Sunday pretty much. I'm here throughout Sunday. I'm gonna be flying back early afternoon Sunday. Really, I just want to pop in for an hour or two Sunday morning to see if there's any last minute deals or vendors who are just trying to get rid of things before they have to head back, because some of these vendors, if they're not local, traveled in to vend for this. But yeah, it's just gonna be a fun weekend of browsing. If you saw my video recently, I asked about what to collect next, because I knew I was coming to this event, and I really held out in these last couple months from buying video game related stuff, because I knew I was coming to this, so I can kind of go all out or not go all out on this trip. Because the big thing here, the difference is compared to last year, I had a big list and specific goal in mind to complete that Nintendo 64 set, which we've done since then. So this year I'm really kind of walking in blind. I have a couple items that grails are on the list, but it's going to be in a way a little dangerous, because I'm just really kind of going in, and if there's something that catches my eye, we'll see what we walk away with. But should be a really fun weekend. Excited to get started. Excited to meet a lot of the vendors, some of the content creators I got to meet last year, or just follow in general, some of the guest speakers, and yeah, just really see what year 2 has in store for the SoCal Gaming Expo. I'm taking you all along, so let's get to it. And you already know I had to bring the Switch 2 for this weekend to get some playtime with it. We were just here in SoCal last weekend for a wedding, and originally I was like, oh, we should just stay here throughout the week, because we're going to be back on Friday anyway. But I realized I had to come back to San Francisco to pick up this thing on Thursday for the midnight release. ATM back there. I just don't know if I can use it back to back in a day.
What?
The ATM.
Oh.
This is where they did the artist house. Oh, look, this time they have the people out here. So they got all the voice actors and whatnot pulled out here this year. Here we go. Oh, it's different layout this year. How do you want to do it? You want to go?
Yeah, maybe down here and then just zigzag our way through.
Perimeter check it? References I know from it, even though I've never watched it. We get to show the passes here. Oh, look at that Kira motorcycle stick. That one right there. It's like a little toy motorcycle. Yeah. Oh, this is the Pixel Bar. The girl who made that thing last time, I missed it. Remember? Came for the game convention, but we've been looking at clothes more than anything lately.
I'll find a way to shop anywhere.
A lot of vintage, gaming related tees, stuff like that. Your protectors. Gotta protect those grails. The signs. Oh yeah, the light of times, yeah. I also want one of these eventually, because PlayStation 2 was oh, these are awesome. Guys gotta check out the retro beard. These neon signs. Sick. Alrighty, so we're Taking a quick break to offload the inventory of stuff we've picked up so far. I got a couple of those, I got one of the LED signs and those like shadow boxes for the controller. And then we got these sick prints which we're gonna frame for the downstairs. So we got the Mario Kart Rainbow Road one.
Yeah, this one's sick.
And then this one's sick. It's like a Japanese kind of old school art style, but like with video game character pun. I don't know like what the word is, but interpretations, I guess. But yeah, we're like right next to the convention center, so we're literally just gonna go. That way we don't have to lug all this stuff, and then maybe take a quick lunch break and then pop back in. Okay, so dropping off some of the stuff right now. Got some Lakers apparel and jerseys, and then a mix of collector protector cases for the 64 Grails and shelf, and 64 Atomic Purple. This is from Pixel Parts. Check this out. This is sick. This is like a transparent, like a shadow box essentially, but Pixel Parts, husband and wife. This is her side, and then Retro Beard does the LED sign. So super sick. The DeLorean. Sick. Okay. Got it. Yeah. I know. Remember some of the ones we saw last year? Like so sick. Got the Nintendo exhibit here, the official one. Got some sick pieces. Like the Zelda one. These are the Nintendo Technician shirts and jackets. Sega Game Genie. Oh, this one is sick. I remember seeing this one. I saw this one for sale last time. Yeah. Look at this F1 Fire Fit. Sick tees. Real immersion technology, Nintendo 64. Alright, so we're back at the conference. Picked up a quick bite and third cup of caffeine for the day.
I forgot. You're wild for that.
And then gonna browse for a little bit before we take like a late lunch. I have yet to pick up any video games actually. It's all been like random collectibles and apparel. Oh, I realized my mic is still on. Yeah, they got another Tetris conversation.
Where you balance it?
Yeah. Got the Tetris competition going. And there's like the whole other side. They have like streams and stuff here. And they have like a whole production setup going on over there. This is where they had like the World Championship last year, I believe. Lunch break. I remember they had all their stuff there like on that side last year. They had like remember I wanted the cream cast, so like a transparent one. I think they have the like blue lightweight PS4. Alrighty, so a couple more pickups from the second round. Nothing too crazy, but we actually got some games this time. So, notably, Sea Stars for the Switch. This is a Japanese version, since the Switch is you call that international, like you can play across region. There you go, region unlocked. That's the word I'm looking for. But this is also from a store that is based up in the Bay Area. This is from the Experience Share up in Alameda or East Bay. So it was really cool to see them out here. So got that. And then I also got some trading cards, notably what just came out very recently, the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy booster packs. Got 2 of them, and because I'm trying to complete the Exodia set as just a fun to do thing. We have the Yu-Gi-Oh! This is the Japanese edition card here. Okay, it's nearly it's about to be 7 p.m. My partner and I have been up since 5:40 a.m., give or take, 5:30 a.m. We had to leave the house to catch our 7 a.m. flight. So it's been a day, and then we've just been on our feet, obviously, going around the expo and showroom floor. So called it about an hour before they are going to closing around 8 p.m. tonight. And then we do it all again at 11 tomorrow, and I think it's 11 to 10 tomorrow. It's going to be such a long day for the vendors and the show, but I imagine that's because tomorrow being Saturday is going to be their most popular day. Foot traffic was definitely way lower than it was last year when I came day one of the opening, but again, notably because the schedule shift, right? I think it's a Friday, so certain vendors aren't going to be there today because they can't vend and take off work. People who can't take off work or make time out. Whereas tomorrow and Sunday being the weekend, I imagine the volume will pick up significantly. But yeah, I think today was mostly about just kind of scouting things out. I actually didn't even get too many games in itself. If anything, I got a bunch of random collectibles, clothes, and stuff like that. But kind of spotted some big ticket items and really kind of just identifying where certain items are at. What are the things that I kind of need to grab versus are just nice to have, and kind of gauging prices of things. So for example, one of the things that I'm eyeing is kind of a more niche just horror set, and specifically games like Silent Hill for the PlayStation 2 and whatnot. There's a lot of PS2 horror titles, but there's a lot of different vendors with Silent Hill. Silent Hill Greatest Hits, different conditions. That all factors into kind of the price point, and then you kind of have to factor in what does that normally go for online, and yada yada yada. So yeah, a lot to kind of be assessed from day one. Okay, and one more thing we wanted to make sure we do today. We have the Magic the Gathering pack I picked up earlier. Figured I'd crack one of them open, while I'm here, and see what I got. To be honest, I have no idea what the rare cards are here, so this is going to be completely blind. Let's see what we got. So first is Scorpion Sentinel, Chocomog Summon, Item Shopkeep, Malboro, Bard's Bow, Laughing Mad, Crossroads Village, Delivery Moogle, Opera Love Song, Instant Spell, the Pew Pew UFO, Emperor of Palamacia, Legendary. Oh, wait, I see a holo under that, or a couple cards from now. I have no idea what these cards are in terms of rarity. Ishgard, the Holy Sea, Moment of Truth. Oh no, just an artifact card. White Aurokite, then basic land, Fiery Forest, and a token hero card. I don't think any of these are rare in any capacity, but got it for the novelty of the Final Fantasy / Magic the Gathering collab. So there you have it. Maybe we'll open the other pack tomorrow. Morning, gamers. Day 2, Saturday morning. It's almost 9:30. I'm gonna step out to get breakfast a little bit before hitting the convention at open around 11 for another long day, and probably gonna be the heaviest foot traffic day today. But before we do get started with the day, figured, whoa, let's not drop the camera. What better way to start a morning with a pack open? We're addicted. First one, Cloud-Bound Moogle. A lot of Moogles in there. Suplex, the fire sorcery card. Namazu Trader. Airship Crash. Retrieve the Esper. Oh, that looks pretty sick. Lunatic Pandora. That's a legendary artifact there. Another Crossroads Village, so another land. Kina Kui Gourmet. Rufus Shinra. Look at that. It's a legendary card. Is that a two-sided one? No, just a number, just one. So there's Rufus. Unexpected Request, sorcery card. Crystal Fragments, that's an artifact. Jet Reluctant Guardian. Shadow card? Oh, that's the dual one with the final action on the back there. Dual side card. And then our holo is a Dreams of Laguna instant spell. And then last but not least, just a Treno Dark City land town. What's this card? This is just, oh. It's a collector? Whoa. I don't know what this is. This is called the Art Series. 37 of 53. None of any value to it. Art Series is a Summon Bahamut artwork. Pretty sick. Day 2. Alright, day 2. About to walk into the conference. Oh, because people already get in for like VIP stuff. Day 2. About to get in line. Door's about to open in like 5-10 minutes. And it's definitely way more packed than it was yesterday. And that's because of all the people who are coming for like the Saturday side of things. So we gotta go figure out where we stand in line since we already have passes technically. But let's see. Crazy like how many people on the Saturday versus yesterday. Oh, so that's mine. It's gonna be way more packed than the other day. For sure. But I wonder why you can't just, like now that the doors are open, if they would just let the left people, the other door go in. As projected, day 2 is way more packed than yesterday. Because really, like this is like the day everybody comes through. Oh, I see somebody from Fire and Ice. So I gotta say hi to my boy Ryan. I gotta say hi to Ryan from Fire and Ice. Yeah, so this is the 210, 140 would be 350 for both. But then you'd get the grace with the non.
I was like, you're really asking me wrong.
Back at it, looking through the clothes. Alright, we came over to the free play side, taking a break. They got this console free play over here. They got the Street Fighter tournament going on later. And then they have a, what game is this? I have no idea what is going on over there right now, but they have another.
We have the best prices in the expo.
They have like the Mario Kart 16-player double dash LAN party set up over here. Classic. You want to play Mario Kart?
Double dash?
Yeah. I don't even know how to. 5 game people are connected each play.
Maybe they're still setting it up.
Alright. It's like a physical tumble. Oh, you go. I'm filming it.
That's not how you play it.
Only one player plays.
Huh?
Only like one player plays, no? Oh. So what's the you just want to like balance it entirely?
Yeah. And whoever like knocks it over.
There's only 5 pieces left. Just stacked straight in there. Oh. Now you did it. Does it count?
It's gotta count.
Well, how do you know when it actually tumbles? Like what?
It falls over.
Nicely done.
That went on for way
Damn. Look at all the earthbound. It's crazy. That's sick. Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick though. Look how many earthbounds.
I know.
That's sick.
2.6K.
3 of them. That's crazy. Arcade machines are sick.
Yeah, that just costs money. Oh no.
This is it cleanable?
Yeah.
Everything else is done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're leaving the floor for a break. We were in there for about 2+ hours. Gonna try and just walk around the area and then get a lunch in a bit, but carrying on tradition of not just getting games at this convention so far, I decided to pick up this 9.6 graded Kobe cover from the LA Times. I typically am not somebody who's into the whole graded scene on average. Like, I don't really care about like sealed stuff, but I do have a little Kobe memorial / shrine, and I thought this would just be kind of a cool piece for that collection. Oh, it's 50, not 55. Yeah.
Oh,
The top one, yeah, sorry. And then can I also see Fatal Frame as well
Yes.
after? Yeah. No worries. Can I see Fatal Frame as well? Sorry.
It goes up and down. At one point during like 2022, it was like 300.
You're good.
Now it's like 200 or something like that.
And I'll take that Manhunt probably.
Resident Evil has
Thank you so much.
half of it too.
yeah, these are all complete.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
looking for some play money. You know what I mean?
If I get this and Manhunt with the cash, can I do a deal?
If you want a deal, you're gonna have to.
No worries, I can wait.
Well, what do you offer? Are you doing cash?
Sorry. Yeah, actually.
Give me whatever you want.
Also,
I'll be $200, bro. No, it's the other way, bro. This way. What's going on, bro?
hey.
What are you trying to do?
Also, how much do you have on downpour?
Let me grab it.
Sorry, I didn't see it till
You
now.
want to grab it for me?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he was waiting for the box.
70. What is
Are
that?
you doing cash also?
Yeah, I would do
Okay,
cash.
Let me know what you're thinking. 20. Yeah, do 10.
Do 180 cash?
190.
So Manhunt too, you said $50?
90.
Alright, I found another one, so I'm just trying to buy it. But if he doesn't buy it, I'll give you the 50 for it. So
I'll do 200. I'll do 190. 190? Yeah.
That's
20,
there's so
40,
many people that were looking
60,
at that Manhunt. They never pulled the
100.
trigger.
Yeah.
I think that's 120, 40.
hey, I did you a favor.
Yeah,
I was about to buy it too.
but he was waiting. I know he was waiting.
Yeah.
So I said, if he doesn't buy it,
Yeah,
I'll
you're
take
good. You're good.
it. Thank you though.
20, 40, 60, 80,
Yeah, I'm not
100.
messed up to try to
20,
undercut people though.
40, 60, 80, 100. I think that's 200.
I got change for you, too.
Yeah, can you count it out? Just want to make sure.
How about yourself?
2 things. If you guys want to see anything,
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Did you check them out and everything?
Oh, yeah, she showed me earlier. Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man.
I'll see you around.
Likewise. Came here to complete my 64 set. Now that I'm done with that, just taking it easy.
It gets wild, bro.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Good to see you, man.
Likewise. How's it going, gamers? Game 2 here of the SoCal Gaming Expo. And I thought I'd preface the kind of browsing and collecting goals for today and probably some of the clips you've seen. Ultimately, as of this morning, really, I decided we're going for horror as the theme or genre for the next collection. And unlike going for a complete set, it's a little harder to say you're going to go for an entire genre. So I kind of wanted to have a list of sorts to kind of curate and use for reference. So we're going with the stereotypical but always popular best of from IGN, and specifically the best horror video games top 50 to kind of have somewhat of a capacity and curation there. But these are curated from the IGN audience using their face-off tool. This was back in 2022, did like 1.2 million matchups. So we have a pretty good list to go off of, some of which I already have in my overall collection, but a lot of the ones I'm going to be using to kind of aim to collect as much as I can in this weekend span. Tomorrow's the last day. And then just in general for my goal going forward for the next kind of collection. Now that said, I'm going to throw in a couple here because while this has some pretty popular titles and titles voted by the audience, there's a lot of horror games and there's a lot of like obscure titles out there that I definitely want to throw into the mix. Things like Kuon, Obscure, even the Clock Tower series aren't in here, and I know those are just really heavy hitters, but I might want to throw some of those in here to at least make the collection goal a little bit more interesting. And with that, excuse me, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from day 2 of SoCal Gaming Expo. So, mentioned earlier, we came back, took a break, got some rest in, and then went for the last hour of the expo floor. At least everything should be closing on the expo floor. I believe the tournament area, gameplay area, that's going to stay open until later. But in that 30-40 minutes we were there, managed to do some damage. So first off, I'm going to turn it off to my lovely partner here who picked up what were also very popular items at the convention and expo, the Labubu collectibles and all the craze right now, these blind box, mystery box, Pop Mart.
Secret, the black one.
All right.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Crazy.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
At least it's the one I wanted.
Nice.
The little lilac-y purple one.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, she's cute. Yellow's so cute too.
You come with the purple one here?
Yeah. Panda one would be cute. Yes!
And then, as for me, on this last run-in for today, did pick up some heavies. And I kind of wanted to wait towards the end to see what was left. Also, tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to do a quick pass before we, head to the airport later in the afternoon. Because Sunday tends to be the slower days, but it's also the day that you tend to be able to get quite a bit of deals at these conventions or expos, especially for the people who are traveling in, because they want to kind of go back with the least amount of inventory as possible and having sold the most. So a lot of vendors will mark stuff down on the last day or be more kind of willing to do deals and bargain on the last day. But one deal I was able to get was on a bundle for these two, notably Silent Hill Origins for the PS2 and Silent Hill for the Room. And this one is super, super clean. The copied CIB was from his personal collection. I believe he said something like first print or first edition. But yeah, 2 decently heavy titles for the horror genre, which I believe both are on the list if I'm not mistaken. So pretty excited about these. All right, day 2 of the expo's in the books. Off to go find some dinner. It's like 8 p.m. now. So get some late dinner, rest up, and then we'll be back here for the last time tomorrow afternoon before we gotta head back to San Francisco. All right, last day of the expo. You don't have to get me in.
Oh, the frequency is crazy. It's doing that banding. Yeah, remember when I shocked you with B-roll? Pulled that one out the archives.
Hey, sorry to bother. Is Haunting Ground complete? Everything? What's your guys' bottom on it?
I had another guy look earlier. So I'll open that up for you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. Manual's clean. Oh, yeah, okay. Not
It's
bad.
not terrible.
Yeah, no.
I played it a lot.
Oh, from the personal? I like
Yeah,
it.
it's my personal project.
Okay.
I could do 420.
I'll do 420. Do you have Zelle or Venmo or anything like that?
You got Zelle. I have both. Whatever you prefer, honestly.
Let's do. I have Venmo. I can do it easy.
Let's do Venmo.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. It's Sunday.
Yeah. You guys ready to get out?
Yeah, I mean, like. So if you want to tag me or whatever.
Yeah, we'll do. Got an Instagram?
Yep.
Nice. I have a YouTube channel. I'll throw it out on there.
Awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
Thank you
buddy.
so much.
Hey, have a good one, man.
And just like that, we are back in San Francisco. SoCal Gaming Expo comes to a close. And now that we are back officially home and in the office/studio here is a quick overview of the pickups as I get everything kind of unboxed and situated here. We got our art prints, got some of the artwork we got for the studio down here. We got the official Blockbuster sign from Retrobeard and a lot of the game pickups. Still some more stuff we got to sort through, but getting it all unpacked here. All right, gamers, and with that, we are back here at home in the Bay Area, in the office/studio. Got home, showered, literally unpacked, and straight to unboxing and kind of getting everything out from the weekend that was the SoCal Gaming Expo. And as promised, we are going to kind of debrief on everything that was picked up from said expo. So to recap, we came in really just browsing day one, not really sure what I was aiming to collect, and it wasn't until day two that I fully decided, was I going to go GameCube, was I going to go PS2, what was I going to go, and I decided on the subgenre of horror, or I guess the subcategory of a horror collection, and then ultimately tailor that down to the top 50 horror games as rated by IGN as my definitive list, with some tweaks going in and just general games that I wanted to add to my overall horror list. And that was the North Star starting Saturday. and we made quite a dent in the almost 3 days. So let's talk about it. Okay, I'm going to do my best to kind of shout out the vendors or like storefronts as I remember them. Unfortunately, I don't remember everything as far as where I got stuff, but the ones I do, I will do my best or try to link them in the description below. I want to start with some of the miscellaneous items that are not necessarily video games, but kind of video game adjacent or related. So we're going to start with some of the miscellaneous stuff I picked up in the top half here. These are all from the brand Collector Protector. So if you're in the kind of game collecting community, you may have heard of them. They make these acrylic game cases. They make these as well as like the slip covers for your collectibles. So for example, I got some for the PlayStation 2 and N64. I've gotten a couple of their stuff in the past here, and here's another one I got for my N64 boxes. I really like the quality of their stuff. Very high material, very minimal design. And again, with the aim to protect against things like scratches, UV rays, so like sun fading that can typically happen, especially with boxes, has reinforced edges. And it's just a good way to protect your collection, investment, whatever you consider it. But I got a couple, again, for PS2 games. These are multifaceted. They work for like DVD, Xbox, etc. Got a couple from the N64 because I have a couple of those N64 games that I want to put in these that I've got in the past. So if you haven't heard of them, Collector Protector, highly recommend. They had a booth there last year and this year, so I was definitely happy to pick up some more stuff. Next up on the list, this is a PlayStation 2. I think I highlighted this in the vlog portion, but this was from Retro Nation. They had a lot of import consoles, a lot of unique collectibles, and this is one that I actually picked up last year at the conference. I got the Lavender Edition. This was the series of 3 kind of like these Pantone pastel colors that they came out with in Japan. They came out with a lavender, kind of pink purple, this aqua, and then I believe like another like silver color for these thick PlayStation 2 or the fat PlayStation 2s. And they had this one, no box, no controller, no stand, just console as is. So made a play on this, and it was in pretty decent condition. Can use a little bit of cleanup, but overall, for what I got it for, not going to complain. I can add this alongside the lavender one for display and maybe even a potential mod project. So this is a PlayStation 2 Aqua from the folks over at, I believe, the Retro Nation is their storefront or name. Kind of in tandem with, things that were video game adjacent or unrelated. There's a lot of collectibles, and this year more so, there was a lot of like random collectibles and tchotchkes. I actually got a bit of stuff in the TCG world. This was just all kind of last minute or what do you call that? Miscellaneous purchases. So these kind of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I've been offhand trying to collect the complete Exodia set just for fun, and it's reminded me a lot of like when I was a kid, because I was a big fan of collecting like trading cards from Yu-Gi-Oh to eventually, or Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then eventually Magic the Gathering is what I got into pretty heavily. And you can see here I have a bunch of rip packs from the new Final Fantasy booster that dropped out. I got a couple of sports cards. This is dangerous because I feel like could be another potential rabbit hole that I get back into, but this is just purely for the fun of it and to collect and just kind of have some packs to kind of rip open while I was there. These next ones might be a little bit hard to show, but these were some prints from I believe the company's name Pixel Empire. They had like prints that you could get. You can get them framed at the con. They had like postcards, and they were there last year. They had some really cool artwork and designs, and you can just kind of pick from them. They have this pretty big booth, and I got this one because this one was just so perfect for like the downstairs here that I want to kind of throw in. This is Rainbow Road from Mario Kart in this kind of unique art style that I'm a pretty big fan of. So it's like 11 by 17 print that I'm going to get a frame for. And then underneath that is the print I also showed, but this is just like this kind of old school Japanese artwork that looks very like, old school, that which you would see in the books and whatnot, and it's all video game characters. So you can see like Mario, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Zelda or Link, and so on. So just really cool play and an artwork style that I think is going to go perfect for the downstairs vibes I have going on here. And then an item I also showcased, but this was from Pixel Parts. This is the N64 Atomic Purple controller artwork I got from her in this kind of shadow box. Heather at Pixel Parts alongside Adam the Retro Beard. I'm going to show off what I got from his end as well. But I saw these last year, and unfortunately I wasn't able to pick up anything from her store side. But this year she came with a ton of inventory, and I knew I wanted this N64 Atomic Purple controller as like my first one. I think these shadow box things are really cool, and this is something that she got into recently, and she just kind of takes these kind of, used parts, controllers, consoles, whatnot, and turns them into these artworks, which I think is super, super cool. So again, here you have it. You have the full motherboard directional pad, all the buttons here broken down for this Nintendo 64 Atomic Purple controller, which I think is just super sick, and it's going to be artwork that we definitely display down here alongside all the other N64 paraphernalia. And last, but certainly not least, we have a lot of video games here to kind of go through that we picked up. Some miscellaneous titles that just kind of caught my eye. Like I said, day one, I actually didn't walk away with too many, if not any, video games at all. And I just slowly started picking up stuff that I knew I wanted for my personal collection. And then eventually when I went into the horror decision, we'll take a look at that. But first up, this is War of the Monsters. This is a game that I really enjoyed as a kid, was a big fan of, and I was recently reminded of. Like, it's one of those games I played. I think we rented it from Blockbuster, me and my friend, and just kind of fell by the wayside. And then I recently saw a clip of it, just one of those obscure video games that maybe not a ton of people play, but reminds me a little bit of Rampage. That was a big game series I was a fan of, where it's just kind of these monsters in a city, but the objective here is you were fighting each other, and you could use obstacles and destroy parts of the building to use as things that you can throw at each other. So this is really fun. Decided just to pick this up for the nostalgia and to give it a play again. This is actually from the Experience Share, which is a local store here in the Bay Area. So it was really cool to see them out here in the SoCal Gaming Expo. And then I also picked up from them Sea of Stars for the Nintendo Switch. This is the Japanese edition for the Nintendo Switch, which is a region-free console. So I thought it was cool. Obviously an ode to my home, Japan, and given that it's region-free, should play fine on the Switch. This is a game that I started but never got to finish. I got it when it was free on the PlayStation 5 at launch, but never finished it. And I played this shortly after I had finished Chains of Echo. I don't know why the name is escaping me right now. Chained Echoes. There you go. And very JRPG-like. So getting into Sea of Stars, it was a really fun, unique kind of combat style. I still have been meaning to finish it, and now I have for the Switch, I'm looking to kind of complete that. So yeah, that was a random game pickup. And then we also have the Banjo-Tooie box that I put in one of the collector protectors because I had to travel with this. This is just box and manual. This was from the folks over at Porch Gaming, if I'm not mistaken. Their little crew was there, and I found this in their booth, and no game, but it was perfect because I am looking to slowly accrue boxes and manuals for my N64 set. That's a whole other endeavor, but got this for a good price, so happy to have that. Alrighty, and with that in mind, the big games, or the big chunk of games that we got, were centered around, like I mentioned, the horror titles I decided to kind of complete using as a baseline IGN's top 50 horror games as voted by fans and whatnot. And I wanted to get a lot of the classic horror titles, and a lot of this, as you may know if you're a fan of the genre, lie on the PlayStation 2. So rather than just jumping in and going for a complete set of something, which is not out of the question, because I think this might get me to dip my toes into it, I focus on the genre that is horror. So let's talk about a couple of those games that we picked up this expo. And I'll preface, you'll see some of the sticker prices on here, not that I care or mind, but a lot of these I got in bundle deals or cash deals, which I would always highly recommend if you're going to these expos or conferences. Cash is king. Obviously bundle deals help, and then on Sundays, today, the day I just flew back, a lot of vendors are more willing to let go of stuff at a cheaper rate. But as always, condition matters. You got to kind of know what you're in the market for. Of course, there's price charting prices and stuff like that, but there's always factors that kind of weigh in there. So first up, we did heavily go into the Silent Hill series. Notably, this is Silent Hill for the Room. And I actually got this, and I hope I can try to see if I remember the vendor's name, but I got this bundled with, if I can find it in the stack that I'm looking at. For whatever reason, I can't see it in here. Here it is. Silent Hill 4 and Silent Hill Origins. These are both from the same vendor. They're part of his personal collection. And these were like super clean copies. And I believe he mentioned, like, at least for 4, it was an early copy or something like that, like a first print or something. Something to do with like, being like a first print. And I even think the Origins one was like an early print. It's one of these two, because I remember, like, I know, if I'm not mistaken, it's this Origins one doesn't have the memory card slot at the top, so you can see there it's just the PlayStation logo. But these are both super clean, complete in box here. So both of these added to the collection here, and just put them in the slip covers for now, because I'm going to be transferring these to collector protectors, or some of them at least. And then keeping on the Silent Hill trend, we got Silent Hill Downpour. I actually got this bundled with Manhunt, and there was one more, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, where is it? It's the one sole Xbox title. I'm literally holding on to it. Fatal Frame. So I got all of these 3. I do remember the vendor for this. This was Loud Games. Loud Games, I believe the name was. I also grabbed stickers from them, so that's how I also try to remember. So shout out to these vendors who gave me deals and bundles on this stuff. This is the bundle I was getting that I have, like, the live footage of, like, somebody trying to jump in my deal here and get Manhunt. But yeah, so that was a fun interaction. But Manhunt, Silent Hill Downpour, Fatal Frame, these 2 I played as a kid, and like Fatal Frame was just like a classic horror, especially growing up in Japan. This was just like a huge everybody was like afraid to play this one. I remember Manhunt classic. I never played Silent Hill Downpour, so can't speak to that, but definitely wanted to have it in this collection here. Now, as far as the classics go, you gotta have Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3. I got these from different vendors. There's a lot of these across the expo. People who had the greatest hits edition, people who had it like without a manual, people who had it without the soundtrack on. Is it Silent Hill 3? I think is the one that comes with the soundtrack. But eventually I found 2 separate copies and got good deals with everything complete. So Silent Hill 2 and 3. The only one, surprisingly, I did not get at this conference was the original Silent Hill. I technically have it in the Japanese edition, but the PlayStation 1 American or NA edition I have yet to get, at least at this conference. Next up, some more modern titles, but they were on my list. BioShock the Collection, and then Outlast Trinity. These are both 3-in-1s, essentially, so you get all the BioShock games, all the Outlast games. I have some of these individually, like for the PC, and then I have like BioShock for the original, was it Xbox or 360, I think, sorry. But I figured might as well just get physical editions on Xbox One, and these are both new and sealed. These are from, I remember, Dusty Games. So these guys had a super clean booth. A lot of their stuff they were selling were basically like, brand new factory sealed. And they were just like super organized. Like they had their selection very well laid out in their booth. Very, very well designed. So if you're interested, Dusty Games. All right, some miscellaneous titles I also picked up. I don't really remember. These were just like miscellaneous vendors. I got a lot of these from. I know IGotGames actually is one that I got a lot of deals from. So I'm going to definitely shout them out because they also hooked it up for one of the Silent Hills. Dead Space 2, Evil Within 2, Dead Space 3, Resident Evil Revelations, and then Alien Isolation. So yeah, we did quite a bit of bundling for a lot of these titles, and then Condemned Criminal Origins. So a lot of miscellaneous horror titles here. Some classics that I never played or had, and some classics that I get to replay. So looking forward to a lot of these, but these were just kind of miscellaneous titles I got bundled because they were on the list. So looking forward to playing that. Little Nightmares 2. This was just like a single one I picked up for like, I think I got it for like $11 from a single vendor who was just at the end of day, you know, for on Sunday. So was able to get this right before I left. The brand new Xbox One, or sorry, Xbox Series X and Xbox One. So classic title. I think 3 is coming out this year, if I'm not mistaken. I've yet to finish 1, or I might have finished 1. I've yet to play 2. And then the last 2 in these video games are the heavy hitters. And these are ones that were not on the horror list from IGN at least. I would argue these are still cult classics. These are still on like many people's top horror lists, especially for PlayStation 2. But we have Obscure and Haunting Grounds. These are by far the heavy hitters here. So Obscure, I actually got from none other than Mort's Garage here on YouTube. Big shout out to Mort. He gave me a deal on this one. So super, super happy to have picked this up and get it at the end of the show, at least today, Sunday, before I flew out. And this is one I always wanted in the collection. Like I knew coming in, even if these weren't on the list, Obscure, Haunting Ground, the Clock Tower series, and things like Kuon were things I wanted to put on the list. Those really, really heavy PS2 titles. And then Haunting Ground I had found from, I believe I have a sticker here. Shout out to GameZenTech. This was from his personal collection. This is kept in really good condition. He showed me the manual, showed me the disc, showed me everything. And I got this. This was my last purchase of today before I left for the airport. And I got a really good deal on this as well. He was willing to kind of be flexible there. I think I got it just under $420, give or take. So all in all, really, really happy with these 2 pickups. These are super heavy ones for the PlayStation 2, and you know, just 2 I wanted it personally in my kind of horror collection. But there is one more thing I do need to show, and that would be none other than this sign right here, this neon or LED sign, I should say, more specifically, that I got from the Retro Beard. And if you see above me, that Nintendo 64 sign is the same sign, same maker that I got it from last year at this same conference. So Adam at the Retro Beard, really, really cool products. He makes these LED signs that he makes himself, and he makes a bunch of other kind of like cool projects and products. This Blockbuster one caught my eye, and if you see here, in particular, I got this official Retro Beard seal that this is the first light he ever crafted for the Blockbuster series. He was saying how he had did this as a way, and you can check him out here, as a way to just kind of test the waters and see if people liked it. And this was the very first one he did, and I got the last one at the show. I think he brought 3 with him, and they eventually all like sold out, but I got the very first one. So really, really cool here. Like I said, I was a big fan of his other signs, and he makes like interchangeable ones. So there's like ones that you can get with the faceplate that kind of comes off. If I had more room, this year I did not drive down, I flew down, I probably would have picked up a second sign. But he had these really, really cool signs, and like I said, I had to go with the Blockbuster one because I think it would fit perfect for what we have going on down here. And then his wife, Heather, for Pixel Parts is where I got the N64 kind of shadow box. But I figured we plug this bad boy in and see it in all of its glory. So here's a sign. Really cool. This plate technically is like on the other ones he has, you can get these plates that remove and swap the covers depending on the color you get. And then the back here controls the kind of components. And it's really just this kind of cable that goes out and plugs in via USB, as my camera freezes here. And you know, look at that. I know the lighting might look a little like off because of like just my camera, but it's like a true like dark blue, dark yellow. Looks sick. So it's not gonna live here. It's gonna live somewhere else here in the studio, but you have the ability to adjust it on or off. In this case, it has like options for like flashing LEDs and stuff like that. This is just gonna stay the standard LED color, and you have the option. You can see the fade, the other options, but no real effects needed on this. I would just keep it at like 100% brightness, but you can do like 50% brightness, 25% brightness. There, you can maybe see it a little bit better. Oh, there you go. That's a perfect representation. This is 10% brightness, but you can kind of see it better here, at least on camera. Really, really cool signs. And for the work he puts in, I think these are like super, within reason and affordable. I know if you're getting like typical like neon signs that are very famous in game stores, those can cost a ton. But check out Adam the Retro Beard. Big fan, and I definitely will be getting more stuff from him when I can. And with that, gamers, that concludes the SoCal Gaming Expo. I mean, it was a weekend for sure. It was a lot of being on my feet, running around with my partner, trying to source some of these games that we ended up deciding on Saturday would be the kind of collection journey. And I think ever since we kind of came up with that goal on Saturday, it made the rest of not that the trip wasn't already like fun in itself, but like gave me a goal and objective to go towards, which in my opinion is a fun part of like being a collector and kind of going on that hunt. As always, the venue was great. The vendors were even more great, getting to see a lot of people that I've either met in the past or met for the first time. Whether it's game store owners or just people who are trying to sell off their personal collection for other things, or to fund the next thing. And getting to meet a lot of those people. Again, I think the Pixel Game Squad did a great job this year, expanding upon what was last year, changing up the layout, trying new things. There was all sorts of guest appearances from like voice actors and video game people to Soulja Boy who showed up at the expo and conference. But all in all, I'm super happy with how it came out. I had no idea going in what I was really kind of zeroing in on. The other kind of ticket items that I almost pulled the trigger on but didn't ultimately, there were a couple Nintendo Power Edition, like the 100 Nintendo Power Edition N64 controllers. They were just like in miscellaneous conditions and shapes. I didn't know too much about those. The prices were like fair compared to like price charting, but the conditions just weren't quite there for what was being asked, and I didn't want to kind of pull the trigger spontaneously, but that is something I eventually probably want in the collection. The other big ticket item, probably the bigger ticket item that I did not pull the trigger on but nearly did, was the Panasonic Q. There's somebody who had a Panasonic Q GameCube. He had it working, no box, but the disc, the remote, and the controller. I think he was asking like $1,400 on it, and like I think CIB it goes for around that. So not too far off, but without the box and everything. I was hoping to make a play on it today, Sunday, because it was there before I left. But after everything else, I decided to kind of show some restraint and pass on that for the time being. But that is on the Grail list for like hardware console collaborations that I want. That whole like DVD player collab with Panasonic and Nintendo for the GameCube. So yeah, that's one that I unfortunately had to pass on. Otherwise, had a great time. I hope you all enjoyed this kind of vlog style like video for the SoCal Gaming Expo, and stay tuned for more content that's going to come, because as a result of this trip, we now have a new collection that we're setting out to complete. And to be honest, looking at the list, we completed 80 to 90% of it in this trip already, believe it or not. So another collection or set will have to be on the horizon. Thanks for watching, gamers, and I'll catch you in the next one.